Hello. I know I've been missing for a couple months on here. So yeah, this is an overdue update video. But yeah, hi. I'm back. I'm back-ish. Yeah, I had a couple of exams that I had to study for, and also I was working, so I didn't have a lot of time to film, and also I was a bit unmotivated to the show, so yeah, I didn't film anything, but I kept reading. So I'm just gonna tell you what I've read up until now, and I don't know what I've been doing. I guess I haven't been doing much, nothing interesting really, but yeah. First of all, in January, I think I read 5 books, but most of them were really short, like the short novellas and stories that sometimes authors do for like compilations of things. So I think I'm gonna need my phone to check on that, because I know I've read White Nights from my physical TBR, and I finished it, and this I really enjoyed. I get the hype, but I also don't really think this is a groundbreaking story or with groundbreaking writing. I enjoyed it, I liked it, and the story was sad, bittersweet, but I don't know, I enjoyed way more the second story about the cemetery and how the ghosts were having literally their own society and their own little world, and the protagonist was listening in on the conversations of dead people. That was really cool. I really like that. I prefer that story to White Nights. So yeah, but it was a quick read, and it was an enjoyable one, so I'm not complaining. I'm glad I read it. So yeah, didn't cry. I expected myself to cry because people usually say that they cried a lot, so I didn't. But yeah, so then I read what was this novella from Abby Jimenez. It was my first Abby Jimenez writing thing. I've never read a book of hers, so I read that. Let me just check the title because I am forgetting everything. So I have here my Fable app, and I can check. It's called Worst Wingman Ever, and it was a short and cute romance. I think it was about a nurse, and she goes to take care of her grandma, and then there's the guy. The guy goes to visit his brother, and the protagonist has a car that is the same brand as the main love interest brother girlfriend. So the brother asked the main character to put a note in his girlfriend's car, and he puts it in the female protagonist's car. So it's like a mess, and she receives a note, and she was like, "What?" Because it was awful. But yeah, they communicate using her car. Like they leave little notes for each other, little presents, and it was cute. It was cute. I enjoyed that, and it also deals with grief, and I didn't know it could be treated so well in a so short story, and it's a romance short story, so the fact that it had a lot of other things incorporated, it was really cool, and I really enjoyed that. And then what else have I read? Oh, the other two short stories that I've read are from the Time Traveler's Passport. It's a collection of stories about time travel. I started those in December, trying to catch up on my reading goal. I didn't, but that's okay. But the first one that I finished was For a Limited Time Only by Pen Shepherd, and it was really, really good. Like, I think my favorite out of all of those could be, I don't know, I think I am between this one and the other one that was called 3 days, 9 months, 27 years. Oh yeah, I have it here in the list. Yeah, 3 days, 9 months, 27 years. Those two I think were my favorites. But yeah, that story also treats grief. Not the 3 days, 9 months, but the For a Limited Time Only. That story treats grief I think in a really good way for the short amount of pages that there is. And I don't know, I don't want to say what it's about because I went in completely blind just to, I don't know, surprise myself. And I got surprised by how much I liked the story, and the writing was really good. So I got interested about the author, and I think I'm gonna pick up another of her books, because I want to check her out, you know. So yeah. Then the next book that I read was an arc from NetGalley, and it was An Arcane Inheritance by Camilla Cole, and I love this. I really enjoyed this. My only complaint is that the beginning was a bit slow and confusing, like the timelines were confusing me, and I don't know if we were in the present, the past. Maybe that was also a part of the magic, because if you read this, there's like a plot twist at the end and everything gets explained. So that could also be part of the story, like to confuse the reader, because the narrator is also confused. So, you know, I got very angry at the ending because it's not open, but also it's not close enough for my liking, you know. But it was really good. It was a dark academia with magic, and I really like that. So I think I need to check more of her books out, because the writing was really good. Even though it was a bit slow and confusing, it was not because of the writing. It was because the story was a bit not complicated, but it was going in a lot of directions, and it was needed to take your time to understand it. I don't know if I'm explaining this well. I am a bit all over the place because I haven't been speaking English for 2 months, so now I'm rusty, you know. Yeah, you have to practice your languages, or else you will forget, like it's happening to me now. Okay, so I have news, guys. I joined a book club in my city that is an English book club. So like we read books in English. I didn't know we have that in my city, and I am so happy. I have been there for 2 months now. So we did the January session, and last week we did our February session. It was so good, and I'm so happy I joined, because we are a very varied group of people. There's like another girl who is my age, and then there's also all of the rest are older people, like 40 and older. And there's a lot of profiles. There's this woman that used to be a French teacher, and she knows a lot of French, and now she's retired and just wants to spend time reading. There's also this guy that works in a library and loves just reading books, and I don't know, it's so cool. I am very comfortable there, so I'm really happy that I joined. So the first book that I read for the book club, it was a January pick, and it was Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man by Jess Q. Sutanto. This was my first 5 stars of the year. I know it's the second book, but that, I don't know, that wasn't a problem for the teacher to pick up this book, because we didn't read the first one. So I don't know. I thought maybe they had read the first one in other time, and now they were reading the second one, but no, they weren't. They hadn't read the first one, so I don't know why. But the second one was so good, even without all the context clues that we may have missed from the first one. I loved it. I loved it so much, and I think Vera was iconic, and I think the themes treated in the book were amazing, and it was a mix of humor and also reality and some sort of criticism towards reality, and it was about influencers and real life and how people portray themselves differently in social media, and also ageism, how people treat older people. And yeah, it was really good, and the main theme on there was found family, and that's my favorite thing in books, like my literal favorite. So yeah, I was having the best time. And also, well, there's not like a murder mystery, but that's like, I don't want to say it's the least of it because it's not, but there's lots of things revolving around it, and I think it was perfect. Oh man, I miss them. I need the first one. I need to read the first one right now. And then there was like my first disappointment. It was Phantasma. Didn't really like it. I think the author thinks we are stupid, because the high stakes that were promised for the trials were not high at all, because the main protagonist was always being helped, and the ending, it was so bad. Like, so bad. It didn't give me the feeling of closure that endings give you. No, I was feeling disappointed, and I was like, so where is the part that this is going to finally get closed? Because there's like an important part, in my opinion, that they need to close, and they don't touch it. And I spoiled myself because I wasn't going to read the second book, because the sister I didn't like at all. I hated her. So I was like, I'm not going to read her book if I didn't like this book, and I somewhat tolerated the main character. If I don't like the main character, I'm not going to read the book because I know already that I'm not going to like it. So I spoiled myself. I was like, maybe they closed it in the second one. And I was looking for it on the internet, and they don't really talk about it. And I was like, why? It's the main, well, for me, it was like the main thing to talk about. And I was so angry when they didn't close that. I was like, I hate this ending. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't really like it. And then I read, since it was February, I was like, okay, some cute romance, something. And I chose Lipstick and Camera Clicks by DJ Murphy. It was bad, but so addictive. You know, when you're watching like reality shows that are just a complete wreckage, but you are obsessed and you cannot look away. That was that book. I don't know. It wasn't horrible, but I don't know. There was some grammatical issues. There were some pacing issues. I was having so much fun though, so I was like, yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna keep reading and I'm gonna finish it, because it was so quickly. Like, I think I read it in 2 days, and I enjoyed my time reading it a lot. It was like watching a drama unfold over my eyes. And yeah, I know it's not the best piece of literature, but I was not expecting for it to be that. So I went with my hopes balanced, and it didn't disappoint. So yeah, if you're looking for something easy and something dramatic, just pick this up. I enjoyed my time with that. Then I read another one of the Time Traveler's Passport, and this is the Olivia Blake one. And guys, I don't know why it has such a low rating. I didn't hate it. It was very confusing. Not very confusing, it was confusing, but I think that was the point of it, because I don't know, treating time travel as confusing, it was, for me, it was kind of like the point of the story. And it had vampires. Like, I understand other people when they say I didn't understand anything about this book because it was confusing, but it's the fact that this is based on a time loop. I think that was the point of it, so I accept the confusing fact, but that didn't stop me from enjoying this story. So yeah, by far, I don't think it was the best work someone could ever made with a time loop plot, but in my opinion, it's also not the worst. So yeah, I was intrigued by it, read it, enjoyed it, and that's it. Then I read another arc, and I got light up with this arc because it was sold as comedic, like dark comedy, like you're going to laugh at this a lot, and I didn't laugh at all. This is a book about tennis. The book is That Had a Bad Day by Ashton Politanov. I hated that. dad didn't have a bad day. He had a full-on mental breakdown and life crisis, and he dealt with it in the worst way possible. And the tennis talk, I already knew this was gonna be a book about tennis. I am not a tennis connoisseur, but I hoped that it wasn't gonna be mindless tennis talk all the time, because I was promised dark comedy. There was not. There was a man doing very questionable things, and I could not empathize with him. So I don't know, it didn't really catch my attention, and the ending was meh, and I don't know, I didn't enjoy reading the story, so I picked it up because it said, I'm gonna read you, quote, "Darkly funny and deeply moving." Maybe I don't have the same sense of humor as the publisher does, because I didn't find it funny at all, neither moving. It was a bit entertaining to watch the dad like lose his mind, because he loses it completely. He loses it. So yeah, I don't know. See, this is the perfect example that I have when I go to read a book that has created expectations for me and it doesn't meet them. I'm like, why? I dislike it more. So that's why I prefer not to have expectations, So yeah, that's it. And then I think, the last book that I read is Convenience Store Woman. That was the second pick for my book club, and I really enjoyed it. I did. And I found myself into it in the first chapter because how it starts, chapters, it doesn't have chapters, but she starts talking about her childhood, and there's a scene that she describes about her with a dead bird, and then her in a playground where two of her classmates are fighting and she goes to stop them by hitting one of them on the head with a shovel. I was like, what? Like, that was the beginning of the book. I was like, okay, that was a perfect hook for the opening. And I really, really like that. In my opinion, I think Keiko depicts some signs of being neurodivergent. And it was enlightening to have that narrator, to see the world, how she sees it. And it was really eye-opening, and I also really enjoyed how Sayaka Murata treats taboo topics, about sexuality and being married and accepting societal norms. And I think the book is like a satire, but also a critique for Japan's strict societal norms. And it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And I am eager to pick another book by her. So that was a good discovery for me, I guess. And now for the books that I have started but not finished it yet. I have Dark Days by James Baldwin. I have it here. And I'm on page 22. Yeah, this is a collection of essays. I think, 3 essays. I'm on the second one, and it has a lot to do about race and racism, and I'm really enjoying this because he writes so well. So yeah, there's that. And then there's the Athletics. I don't know, I don't think I need to explain these books to you because this is very famous, and I am really late on reading this, but I am on page, where am I? On page 160. So far, I'm enjoying it. I'm really liking the characters. I'm really hating the characters. That's a love-hate relationship for me. So, yeah. And I am really intrigued about how it's gonna end. But I am scared because people say that the second and third book are such a letdown after this. So, I'm a bit scared, So far, so good. I enjoy Nico and Libby a lot, and I enjoy Tristan, and I enjoy Paris. I enjoy a lot of them, Callum, Am I forgetting someone? Oh yeah, Reina. But yeah, I don't know what's gonna be. I guess that when I finish them, I will give you another update. I hope I can be more active now. I'm sorry for disappearing. So yeah. But yeah, this was my update. This was all the books I read while I was missing and not publishing anything. But yeah. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on the next video. Bye.